Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. Before I start the video, I do want to say please like, subscribe, and comment. And if you want to join the Patreon, you can join at patreon.com/but I'm not a trader. I have started the process of locking my Patreon. I currently have two tiers. I actually created a third one, but I locked the first tier, and again, the second one is very limited, as well as the third one. So once those get locked, I'm just getting ready to migrate over to my website, which is going to be like 10 times more, well, actually like 50 times more expensive, right? So again, if you want to join the Patreon, patreon.com/but I'm not a trader. I'm beginning the process of locking my Patreon tiers because, I've gone to a point where it's just, I'm okay with locking the Patreon to a certain amount of members, right? Those are basically like the OGs that supported me from the very beginning. And now it's just kind of time to move on and grow. And I just can't, I can't just stick with the Patreon anymore, right? So with that being said, let's move on to Bitcoin. After my targets hit on Bitcoin, I really, really, really thought that we were going to head towards 75, 76K. But we ended up rejecting on this mid ground, right? So like at 73.5. So I was only about 2K away from that last target hitting. And as of right now, I do think I do have another target of 66K, right? Because we're actually going to be closing back within my range. So I do think as of right now, we do close in about 12 hours like this. If we close around this area at 68,259. Actually, if we close under, I'll tell you exactly where. If we close under 68,359, right? 68. If we close under 68,359, I can almost guarantee we're headed back to $66,000 on Bitcoin. And I wanted to show you guys this kind of like, you guys can, generally I say to, to like do this yourself, but if you guys want to like snapshot this, right, or screenshot it, it's definitely a very big cheat sheet. And it's probably going to be my biggest cheat sheet that I'm going to be using for the whole market as a whole, as far as like Bitcoin and crypto. I do think that right now there is a possibility of this being the cycle top, right? And I think I said that in my last video where I'm like, well, this was the top the last back in 2021, right, when we actually topped out on this channel range, right? So again, this was the first top, second top, and again, you're hitting that second top right now on that same channel range, right? You're in that exact same line, the top of the channel line, right? So right now, in this section, right, in this little area, this could potentially be the cycle top, right? I'm not saying that to like scare anybody or whatever. It's just technical analysis. That's it. If there is a reason, or if there's a way for us to top out right here, right, this would be the top, right? Logically, this would be the top. If we are going to top out, this would be the top, right? If we run that same pattern, right, that the box strategy that I've been using and stuff, right? Let's see, 1, 2. Here, right, if we are using this, you still have 15 days to close this actually. So on the monthly, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Yeah, it'd be right there. Let me change this to HLC. Did we drop lower? No, we didn't. We did not drop lower. So actually, I can probably move this down there. There you go. So again, on the, where do we close this? 61343, close 61. Yeah, we close lower. So this would actually be the close here. So I do have good news for you guys though. On a regular breakout strategy, right? Target, right? This is the monthly, so this might take a while to hit, but target would be $90,000, right? Which would be right this top of channel right here, right? If we close in 15 days, right, like this, I can almost guarantee we're going to see $90,000, right? But we have 15 days to close above this. Oh, same thing with the 3-month actually. Same thing with the 3-month. 3-month might actually close. The 3-month closes like this. Oh, that's going to be nuts. So the 3-month closes like this. Then we are looking for, where would we top? 86, yeah, 86, 90,000 bucks. So you have 15 days to close this on the 3 month and on the month, right? So again, if there is a top on this cycle, it's right here. It's very, very easy to call this, right? If there's a top, just because you have previous resistance right here, right? Previous resistance. But if you do manage, right, to close around this area, right, within the next 15 days, and you don't drop, right? You don't drop under, what is it? Close 61343. If you don't drop under like 61K within the next 15 days, then this is fantastic, right? Because I think as of right now, if you don't drop, we're headed to like $90,000 roughly in that area, right? That's basically my target. If you manage to close above, right, above 61,343 for the monthly, and then was a 3 month. 3 month would be 58,800. Yeah, so we can go with the higher close of 61,343. If we close in 15 days above 61,343, I'm telling you guys, we're more than likely headed to 86,000, somewhere in between 86 to 90,000, right? But that's not target for another 15 days. You have to close above that, right? Essentially. But as of right now, obviously the market's still very, very bullish to the upside. But I mean, you can see on the monthly, right? If there's a place to actually reject, it's gonna be here. That's where we rejected the last cycle, right? Especially with SPY, right? SPY on the 2 week, like SPY on the 2 week, or I told you. Oh, actually, yeah, they didn't even show you guys this, right? I actually told the chat yesterday on Patreon. So SPY is actually giving off those sell-off signals, right? On the 2 week, right? It's already signaling. So in 6 days, if this closes, I told you guys last time, like what happens every time the 2 week closes on my custom indicators, right? Look how much we drop, bro. Every single time. 47 points. The 2 week, right? 35 points. The 2 week, big old sell-off right here. 35, 60 points, right? Again, where's the 2 week? All I'm doing is using the 2 week on like sort of perfect entries, right? And on perfect entries, they're crazy, right? 2 week, perfect sell-off on perfect entry right here. Boom. This was actually the whole move down, 120 points in about a year. So look at that. Look at the average move. 71 bucks in 42 days, $60 and 28, 35 and 42, 47 and 84. So the average sell-off right now, you're looking at, anywhere between, I'd say like 45 to 50 point sell-off within probably like 2.5 months, right? Somewhere around that range. So if we run that, right, let's go with, like 40 point sell-off, right, in 84 days. So it's like, I'd say 45. So 45 or upwards of that same time, upwards of like 75 points. There you go. So anywhere between like a 10 to like a 20% sell-off. This is what I'm looking at as far as, as far as closing this 2 week, right? Do you guys really think that if SPY closes this 2 week, Bitcoin's gonna keep running towards the upside? I don't think so, bro. Right? I really don't. And then QQQ already closed this last week, right? And QQQ is always the early indicator of these sell-offs. I already checked, right? I already went back to like fucking forever to check, right? It already closed. QQQ always triggers first before SPY. And that's exactly what happened, right? So this is why I think that Bitcoin not necessarily, doesn't have a chance of going up, but it's extremely difficult to actually say that it can keep running while the SPY and the QQQ are basically signaling like, hey, bro, like I'm going to sell off 10 to 20%, right? Which is kind of insane. So Bitcoin, again, you got to close above those targets that I told you guys about, right? You have to close. You have to. Otherwise, I don't see this pushing up any further to the upside. But as far as SPY and QQQ, I think we're gonna have a 10 to 20% sell-off, right? Within the next 6 days is official confirmation where both SPY and QQQ are giving me the 2 week trigger. As far as Bitcoin, to be like I don't want to say bearer of bad news, but you have to stay above 61,343 in 15 days in order for target to be 86,000 and 90,000, right? So I mean, it really just depends on what happens in the next 2 weeks on Bitcoin. You have to stay above that. You have to stay above this close, 61,343, or else you're gonna come right back down with SPY and QQQ. The bias on my side is that Bitcoin doesn't run anymore because SPY and QQQ are going to sell off 10 to 20%. And I really don't think that Bitcoin is going to keep running while SPY and QQQ sell off. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.